Welcome to another edition of the Mexican Soccer Show. I'm Wiso from FoodMexSource.com. This is an hour-long podcast dedicated to all things Mexican football, Mexicans abroad, Mexican soccer, whatever you want to call it. We're going to cover it here today on a very special show, a full house with the Mexican Soccer Show. Yeah. We have everyone on board, ready to give their opinion, their facts. There's going to be a lot of talk. We might see some friendships go away. Who knows how the show is going to go. But we have everybody here. We're going to be talking about Mexico to this point, how they're doing in the Gold Cup. As you know, yesterday, the game against Costa Rica in extra time, Mexico winning 1-0 off a very questionable penalty kick. We'll be sure to talk and give everybody our consensus of no era penal, si era penal, what did Peralta do. We'll also talk about what's happening up in New York, what happened in New York. Naive and Tom being there, El Color, and everything that happened, especially around the mood, what was happening with the record story. A lot to have in the Mexican Soccer Show. We haven't been on a little bit for, I think, almost a week. Apologies, just our schedule has been a little bit hectic, everyone flying in and out. But we're all here, ready to go. We're also on Periscope today. For those of you that are on Periscope, send in your questions. I'm kind of pointing up to you because there's two cameras right there. But enough of me, enough of the intro. Let's go to the guys that make this show happen. Let's go to you guys, and we'll start with the America jersey that I see in the middle. I guess for some reason Johnny decided to wear one today. I didn't even know why. But Johnny, how are you?
Is there a game or something? I don't know if there's a game or not.
A game or something, Johnny?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Yeah, there's this little tournament called Campeón de Campeones, Champion of Champions.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah. Champions of what? Someone explain that term, The champions of what?
Champions of Champions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who's playing Puebla versus Morelia?
No. That was the opening act.
I just said Morelia. I guess Morelia. All right, Johnny, how are you? Haven't seen you in a long time.
I'm doing good. Yeah, getting ready to watch Santos against America, the Apertura champion against the Clausura champion.
Your little workout station on the left of you or to the right of you? I like it.
It's just for show. Also, you said a packed house and we might lose some friendships. You know, I think if me and Jason have survived as friends, I think we'll be okay.
That's right. That's right.
We've had plenty of shots fired.
Speaking of Jason, how are you, sir? You got a chance to go to the last Trinidad game, right?
Yep, Charlotte.
And then you bought your tickets to go to the final. Gutsy call, so excited, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better about it now, but not great. Hey, you know, Mexico moves on, so we'll see what happens on Wednesday, but it should be interesting either way.
Good. All right, well, hi over to Mr. Cesar, who's back now in California. Cesar had a nice, about a week and a half of travel for you all over the United States, Phoenix, Charlotte, Chicago. Living a life, man.
Just warm everywhere, man. It didn't matter where I went. It was just warm, and I was just constantly sweating. I feel like I brought that humidity and warmth to California with me, because now I'm sweating. I don't have air conditioning in my place, so it's like I've been like sweating and writing about Mexico for about like 3 weeks now. So that's my life right now.
Sweat and write about Mexico. I mean, that's usually the norm. Going over
just
to
throw in your cats.
Dog stories. Mr. Naive in New York City got a chance to go to the game. How are you doing today?
Good. So I'm really happy it's a packed house. Actually, I mean it's always great to have the big round table, and we can. Well, there's a round table imaginable in my head. But you know, and I just imagine we're sitting on a table and debating and stuff. But there's a lot of stuff going on. And we have 26 viewers on Periscope at the moment, which is.
Yeah. We only have 10. We only have 10 on YouTube.
As a total of 36.
What did I tell you?
That's right.
Johnny said that there's going to be more people going on Periscope. I just think it's an easier platform, but we get this recorded, so we'll get that. And we're going to go to Tom last but not least. Tom with his beautiful view of Atlanta. I think, the Coca-Cola Tower in the background.
It's not that great, honestly. It's just a big concrete block. But,
Yeah, just building.
Tom is in Atlanta. Ventura, obviously, we're there. Tom, how are you? First of all, we've seen a lot of people leave the Mexican concentration because of injury. Are you okay? Are you going to be able to make it to the Gold Cup final?
I mean, if I survive Phoenix with you, so I think I can survive anything.
That was all Cesar, by the way. Good guys.
I ran away after that.
After Phoenix, it's all easy going now. No, but no, serious note. Yeah, really enjoying going around the team and being at the games and last night was great. I mean, obviously controversial decision, all that kind of thing. Mexico not great in the first half, but at the end of the day, in terms of the atmosphere, 75,000 people in the stadium, unbelievable crowd there, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Big games and fans behind the team and crazy endings there. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, happy that to be here because I would have gone back to Guadalajara if Mexico would have gone out.
Well, very nice. Well, it is going to be a packed house, as you can see, and we have not a lot of topics, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion of what we see. So let's go ahead and get started. Would like to thank everyone on the chat on the Mexican Soccer Show at YouTube. Please make sure to keep ask your questions. We'll be taking a look at it. Definitely love the input that everyone obviously types up and the controversy that goes in there. Don't fight. Just a little, we're all friends.
No,
I'm not a part of the fight.
There's some fight, but never mind. Jolie's usually on there, so there's no way to keep that. And all of you guys that are Periscope, ask your questions. Naib's going to be reading them off. Cesar's going to be looking at them and see where we're at. So at any point, Naib, if you want to see what's happening with Periscope, a little experiment that we're doing today, and see how that goes. Hopefully it doesn't. We have 19 viewers on YouTube, and how many on Periscope?
25.
25. Yeah. All right.
ESPN and Univision, they run their simulcast on television and radio. Why can't we do a simulcast, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started.
We're on the same level, obviously. Production-wise.
Let's go ahead and obviously we see our producers in the back telling us to keep going with time and make sure that we are on schedule to end at 7 p.m. here Pacific time. Cesar's got a big commitment, so he's going to leave us.
I do. A very serious commitment, yeah.
But let's go ahead and talk about Costa Rica and Mexico right away. I'll ask a couple of you guys on your thoughts, obviously, overall the game, and then obviously we'll start a discussion. Let's not talk about the no era penal yet, the controversy with that, but overall, did we see an improvement is the number one question, and overall the feel of the game. And we'll start with Naive and Tom. You guys were at the game. A little different. Cesar was mentioning this in the obviously in his Twitter, saying the difference between being at the game and obviously watching it. Big difference is what you can see. I'll ask Mr. Naive first. Very technical. Tell me what you think about it and what you saw and what you take from the game.
In general, I think the substitutions were quite surprising. Herrera out and Vela out for Tecatito and Esquivel. I think Esquivel shut my mouth big time because I've been criticizing his game in general and why the heck is he playing. And I think he did well. I mean, the speed, the recovery, the dribble was there, the shot was there, hit a crossbar. And when you see Herrera on the field and you see him live, it's a little bit painful because I see him walking around the field too much. I don't see the same Herrera from the World Cup that was just all over the place, like a Tasmanian, basically. And Tecatito, it was just magic. Tecatito, you see him do the dribbles, your eyes get messed up because you see the ball from one side to the other like this. So I mean, that was one of the things. Tecatito and Esquivel were big difference makers in the game, I think, for El Tri. And the goals, I think. It's that thing that they're creating a lot of chances. It's just the definition, and if it was there yesterday, it could have been 4-0.
Exactly. I hate to disagree so early on in the show, but
actually, I'd be surprised, if it took that long,
Naive mentions that Tecatito Corona was a big difference maker. He did a lot of pretty dribbling, but how much of an impact did he really have? Carlos Vela, yes, he missed a lot of chances, but he had shots. He had opportunities in front of goal. Tecatito Corona dribbled by two players and then put in bad passes. I don't see how that is an improvement over what Carlos Vela produced.
I think it was something different that they were doing. I think
it's something different, and also I don't. And it's not like Tecatito had that much time either. I think given more time, he could have potentially
Yes.
created something fantastic. But I do agree with you a little bit, though. I think sometimes, I think that's the problem with Tecatito, but that's the risk that Mexico should be willing to take. Is that sometimes he's too selfish. Sometimes you don't know what he's doing. He's taking on one too many players. But in a game like yesterday, you really needed a guy like him to be getting more minutes.
So you would like to see Chuletita for Vela instead of Tecatito for Vela. That's what you're telling me.
I just think that we put too much importance on the flash and not enough on the effectiveness.
No, and understandable that it wasn't effective, but at the same time, Tecatito, I'm kind of in the middle. A lot of people are wanting Tecatito to start right now and get, I don't think Tecatito is the man to start right now, is 11. I think there was a lot of flashes, just like Naive said. I think the team's not ready for a Tecatito. They don't know how to play with Tecatito.
We're not ready for Tecatito.
We're not even ready. I mean, we're seeing that it looks like Tecatito he's doing this, he's got this, and there's that team chemistry isn't there. I wouldn't want Tecatito for in the starting 11. I like the way he's coming in the 7. I think Piojo was right in his changes. It might be a little bit in the way that Esquivel came in for Herrera. I think we all knew what Herrera was doing. But to say that Tecatito didn't do anything, I think he created more chances and did scare off the Costa Rican team, pull 3 players, maybe somebody opening, but he didn't connect at the end. I think we're going to see that from somebody else. Tom, you were there at the game. Tell us a little bit about what we don't see on TV. Tell us about the feel of the game, some maybe a Piojo press conference, and then a little bit of what kind of happened afterwards. If you want to kind of go into it with what's going on in the I guess the overall feel of the team.
Yeah, and I thought the first half, Costa Rica had Mexico where they wanted them, because I thought Costa Rica were looking dangerous on the break. I thought they were pressing really well. Mexico seemed a bit out of ideas until about the last 5 minutes of the first half. And then from then on, I thought Mexico started playing really well. And I think we saw a lot of the same traits that we saw at the World Cup in terms of the passing, the intensity. And I thought Mexico actually had a very good second half. Obviously, the caveat is that they didn't finish. But, I mean, they had 3 absolutely great chances. I mean, Oribe Peralta's chance, I mean, that was it was an absolute gift when he hit the post. And then, we had that Esquivel when he hit the crossbar. And that was actually an absolutely beautiful move. That's Mexico for me at its best. I think it was Aguilar with a crossfield ball to Layun. Layun crossed it. It was quick. It was direct. It was top quality play. And and then Vela, obviously. I mean, who knows there? But yeah, I think the second half was good. I think, and then in extra time, everyone was tired. You know what I mean? So can't read too much into that. I think Hector Herrera is now a major question mark. I don't know what's going on. It seems to me like he's distracted by something. He's not quite there, you know what I mean? He seems like his head's not in it.
Having fun in the field. It's not the same Herrera. It looks like he's always upset or sad. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Is he frustrated because he's not in the position that he used to play before? I'm moving it up, but I don't even see it that way. That's what we saw within camp before then, right, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's back now in his position that he played at the World Cup. So, I mean, I think there's something more to it, and I think he's lacking confidence. And I think there's a couple of players, I think Diego Reyes as well, maybe lacking a bit of confidence as well at the minute. But I think last night's result was obviously a massive boost. I mean, it doesn't matter how it came. All right, they got the lucky penalty for me. It was a bit of luck, but you take that, you go with it. And at the end of the day, Mexico were the better team, and if they'd put chances in, it would have been 2-3-0 quite comfortably within 90 minutes. I mean, for me, so yeah. And then after the game, we've obviously had this issue where Record on Friday came out with a story saying that there's a rift between Herrera and the players, and that the players had a meeting without him, to try and kind of work out the problems themselves. And the players just came out and fiercely backed Herrera. But then after the game, Miguel Herrera did his press conference, and then all the players, one by one, and Naib was there, one by one, pretty much all headphones on, just walked past the press, and it was like, I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, I think it's a bit kind of childish because you just won the game, and go and speak to the press. It's it's part of your job. On the on the other hand, if there is a positive, that kind of mentality is us against the world, and Mourinho uses it so well. So is that going to happen now in Mexico? We'll see. I don't know. But my initial reaction when that happened was, "Nah, what are you doing? You've won. You just won." And it was only one story against you. So it wasn't like the whole media's like doing at you.
Could it be anything because it was a really late? And they had to catch an early flight. They're already in Atlanta, Tom. I know there are some problems with
an early flight. It was they've just arrived, and they got an afternoon flight. So I don't think it was that, and I think they would have come out and apologized and said sorry about that. I think the press guy from Mexico's national team said the players decided that on their own. It didn't come from above, didn't come from Herrera. The players decided to not speak to the press.
I wonder. I mean, that's kind of odd because I don't think I've ever seen Mexico as players coming not talk to them. I mean, a couple of players are there. Guardado usually makes the rounds. I know that for those that know, obviously they have some contracts with the sponsors, with the televisoras, Televisa, and also Univision. And then what I saw from the press guy Israel, I tweeted him out, and he just pretty much said, the mixed zone is an option. And the players didn't want to talk tonight, and you had the contract. You have to talk to the press, and here are the ones that are going to do that by contract. They have to, or they get fined, as we've seen that with other sports. But the zona mixta is pretty much up to the players, and all decided not to. A little bit weird. I think we're going to hear why, maybe their reason of why, or maybe not. Maybe they'll just be like, we just didn't want to talk as today, and that's it. And maybe that's something to just kind of learn a lesson to the record guys. But I don't understand why we all have to be the culprits on that. I know Naive didn't even get a question or anything, especially in the way that CONCACAF. I was upset too in Phoenix, Naive, in the way that they're just picking who wants to do the questions. But that was a little bit. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a certain organization they have that's a little bit murky in a way, mafioso kind of stuff. And then I think, yeah, the attitude from the players is a little bit tight. I mean, the way that they're acting, they have to win it. If they don't win it, it's gonna be like you're gonna get shut down like quickly by a lot of media that are already visibly pissed off, kind of.
Yeah. Cesar and Tom, let's go. Cesar, you're taking the game, the positives of the game. I mean, I thought that was the best game that we've had since Piojo in 2015, in the way that Vela not being there. Vela, I don't know. I've never seen him miss 2 shots like that, not even on goal. The way that it was Donovan-esque, if you remember that one. Donovan, woof of a ball. And but the positives of the game, did you like the way Mexico played?
I think we could have been much better with our finishing. I think one of the positives I think of was Ochoa. I think Ochoa had a fantastic game. I think everybody had some justifiable worries about him because he didn't have that much time with Malaga. But as he's proven that when he gets time, he does well. And he had there was an early attempt and he did an excellent job. I like what I saw from Guardado. I think Guardado has an excellent job with his job as being the team captain, and he's very, very smart with his movement on the ball. And same thing with Jonathan Dos Santos. I know some of us want to see Hector Herrera in that more central role, but it's a little bit difficult to try to push Jonathan Dos Santos out of that role because I think he's been doing a fantastic job, and he does a great job of switching the field too. Negative, as a fan, that's not how I wanted to win the game. It's not like
of course not.
I know we're eventually gonna get onto this, but I saw a replay and I'm doubting it, but I know it's just not how I want to win the game. It's just I feel bad for the Costa Rica fans, but I don't know. It's not how I.
I'm sorry, I don't feel bad. I definitely got all the texts that said "Cante no llore" when we were out last year. So
I guess redemption somehow from the World Cup. I don't know if it's really redemption when when there's a huge difference between making it to the Gold Cup semis and advancing to the knockout round of the World Cup.
Jason, on your take on Herrera, especially on his subs, on the way that you saw his planteamiento del juego, his starting 11. For me, I thought he did okay with waiting. We had Yasser Corona, who's now injured out of the Gold Cup, and then Alanis. Hopefully we had him because a lot of people wanted some subs, some more mids ready to go by the 70th minute when Costa Rica was playing to get the penalties.
I don't know, the way I saw the first half, after that first half, the way Mexico was playing, it was just more of the same. It was very stagnant, very predictable going forward. So halftime comes and I want to take out 6 or 7 guys out of that lineup, just take them all out at this point because it's just so predictable and it's just so weak. It's just that slow play up the field, out to the wing backs, bad cross in, and now it's Costa Rica's ball again. It's that same thing over and over again. And then the second half came around, and Mexico really did start to take over. Certainly when Escudal came in, but even before that, they really started to kind of take control of the game, I would say, and like really kind of like work the middle a little bit more. I think there still needs to be a lot more things happening in the middle of the field, and certainly the shell of Herrera right now, who is playing up there, Hector Herrera, just like that really hurt a lot because he just was a massive negative up there. It was really surprising. But I mean, like overall, like the things that really stuck out to me is that Mexico got good play out of a lot of the players who were question marks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the defense was solid. Like I'm certainly not a fan of Paul Aguilar, but he in the second half he played really well. He played well defensively. He was covering the whole field. He had a great game. Massa back there like had a great game. I would say like he really was controlling that back line. He was all over the place. And when Mexico was really stepping up and moving forward, he was up there. And like he's not a fast dude. He's an old man at this point. He's up there, like he's up there on the ball, making it like controlling things and getting the ball going forward, like doing what he had to do. You know, I mean, he's not an amazing defender, but he had a good game. I can't say. I mean, the one thing that sticks out to me is what was going on with Miguel Layun. That side of the field was basically ignored. He was kind of. I mean, he was sitting back a lot, but he was also just not really moving a ton. I don't really know what was going on with him in that game. But I mean, the subs, Esquivel certainly was surprising, but you know, it paid off. I mean, he certainly seems like he'd come in like basically like a spark plug, just all of a sudden, just energy. It waned certainly after like 10 minutes or so, but I mean, he was moving and doing things, and I think you know, I don't know, Mexico had enough good plays, and it's been said already, but they did enough to win that game. They just they did win the game, but they did enough to win it in regulation. They just didn't.
We had Peralta and Vela taking those shots and just completely missing them is what happened there.
There was so many chances, so many opportunities created that like you know one of those has to be put in. And when Costa Rica certainly in that second half they were set up so defensively that like you just have to convert it when you get those chances, and they had enough of them to win the game. They just didn't.
I think the reasons also, I mean, I know a lot of people are surprised. I was definitely surprised. Vela, I saw, well, that's a chip in. I mean, when I saw him so close to the goal, it was his left foot. We've seen him chip over the keeper. There was no way. It was just kind of odd. I haven't seen Vela miss that many. I don't think it's something that we need to worry about. I know against Trinidad, obviously the offense was there, that we had 4 goals. The defense was the problem. Against Guatemala, I don't think we created that many chances either for us to say that the punteria, that we have problems finishing. And obviously against Cuba, I don't think this is a problem going against Panama. Hopefully they can, you know, we were unlucky in maybe Peralta and Esquivel to say that there's a problem. I think Costa Rica got extremely lucky. The fact that we didn't get until the end, and obviously, you know what happened. Positives for me.
I think. Go on, Weasel. Go on.
Well, I just saying positives for me. The physical, the players that are okay, that are making it. I felt like Costa Rica was tired, and I saw Layun, Guardado, Jonathan, even. Yeah. I mean, I thought that for some reason, you know, the guys that are okay, that are 100% are giving it. And yes, we have Yasset and we have all the other ones on injuries. But I felt like we were the better physical team and we were in shape. I really liked that because in the stages of playing 6 games in a week and, you know, in 7 days and 2 weeks, that's a lot of games to play in what we're seeing. And now we're a rest today, a travel, and then another game. I kind of like the fact that Guardado is still playing the 90 minutes and is a captain and it's still 100%. And so with Jonah. Tom.
No, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of travel as well. I mean, there's more.
You're like, I'm tired.
Yeah. There's more host cities in this tournament than there are teams. I mean, it's just bizarre. There's no other tournament that is like that. And El Tria going from one end of the country to the other, and you know, as a player, you play one day, and then you've got. I mean, they've had a 4-hour flight today because they had to lay over because it was. They had to drop some stuff off, and it's like, what's going on here? But yeah, I think, on a more serious note, there was so much pressure on Herrera in that game against Costa Rica. I mean, going into the tournament, it was Costa Rica, Mexico, United States, big 3, you know, by quite a way, I'd say. And Mexico, for their own fault, and Costa Rica's, ended up playing each other in the quarterfinal, a game none of them wanted. And Herrera, really, if he'd have lost that game, there would have been a very good chance that he wouldn't have lost it.
No, I think so.
And so at the end of the day, I think that we have to give Herrera credit, and we have to say that the players have supported him. They showed it on the field. All right, it wasn't great, it wasn't amazing, but at the end of the day, Herrera as well, from that for me, which was a pretty bad first half, to improve so much in the second half, that shows there's a lot of spirit. And I think, moving ahead in this tournament on Wednesday against Panama, and possibly to the final against the United States, I think that is a positive to take away from that game last night.
I do have something to say on Costa Rica. Ever since last year at the World Cup, somebody out there on Twitter has been trying to sell me on this Super Costa Rica side that made the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Yes, they did make the quarterfinals. They got a lucky draw in the round of 16.
It's a different coach.
Huh? Yeah,
Different
but
coach, Manny.
they're referring to Costa Rica as the new giants of CONCACAF.
No
One of your ESPN coworkers put them favorites to win the Gold Cup. Someone's trying to sell me a Super Costa Rica that I have never seen.
The only thing I'd say is,
I saw Costa Rica last year.
They.
I think you need to be taken more seriously. They're a much better team than they used to be. I wouldn't say that they're, I don't think they're arguably better than Mexico.
Are they the new gigantes of CONCACAF?
No, and I don't think anybody's saying that. I think if Pinto would have been here, and I think if it would have been they had Navas, I think it would have been a better team. Talking to Costa Rican fans and even journalists, Juan Chope shouldn't be there. He should not be there. You can see the difference of I don't think Pinto would have played that defensively against Mexico. You saw Pinto playing them in Costa Rica, even when they went to Mexico and they got that tie. Something's going on in Costa Rica. They haven't won 15 games in the whole year. Tying against El Salvador. I knew that this was going to be a hard game because of the defensive, but at the same time, I saw defense from Costa Rica, and I didn't see the same planteamiento that I've seen with Pinto. To say that they could win it, I don't know. I was definitely very surprised that they had nothing. But I was scared of Joel Campbell every time he took the ball to 3 or 4 players, kind of Trinidad and Tobago type of player. I mean, he was going in and scoring.
Yeah, one of the positives, just to a little bit that we haven't touched upon, is Andres Guardado as a captain. Yesterday's performance was by far one of the best captain performances from an L3 player in a long time, because the way he took the penalty, I mean, at that crucial moment, if he missed that, it was gonna go. It was going to penalties basically. But whether if it was not a penalty or not, or it was a penalty, he took it with a lot of authority. But his whole game in general, I mean, just moving at defense, offense, good game.
Kind of wanted Layun to take the penalty.
Hey, I tell you what. I just wrote a story about Guardado today, and like Naib was saying, as soon as that penalty was given, and Costa Rica were obviously arguing with the assistant, he went and grabbed the ball.
And Nery Castillo.
And then Layun came over, and I was thinking, no.
Yes.
Guardado has missed a PK for the national team, not recently, but it was some years back. You know what? I wasn't that nervous. I mean, I was nervous, but I was like, Guardado's going to sink this in. And not only is he going to sink this in, it's going to be a powerful kick. And, man, it was a great kick.
Yeah. Let's not forget that wonderful, almost like golazo that Guardado had earlier in the match, too.
Guardado's got 3 goals.
Yeah, no. No. I don't think he has 3 goals. I think that was that 2 now? I don't know. It's either 1 or 2.
Yeah, 3 goals.
He's got 3 goals.
Oh, it is 3 goals. Yeah, you're right. No, it is 3 goals.
He's got the header against Cuba. The Trinidad and Tobago came back with the 3rd goal, and he's got this one. He ties our Oribe Peralta. He's got 3 goals.
That's not saying much to be tying Oribe, to be honest. But.
Well, he ties the person that's got the most goals for it.
But yeah, no. But I think like everybody's been saying, Guardado had a fantastic game, and like I said too, just he almost had a fantastic goal earlier in the match. It was that long shot he had earlier in the game, and it could have been, I could have been one of the goals of the tournament.
Guardado's ability. Guardado has done that. I remember that. That's the Ochoa goal, right? Right, Johnny? Guardado's Atlas. He's done that like 3 times, running in from the back of the box.
Yeah,
sure.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Well, the Guardado goal against Ochoa in America, slight differences, with Atlas he did it both times from the right side of the field, left-footed to the far post top corner.
Specifics, that must have really hurt.
No, believe me.
Yes.
I know a lot of Mexicanistas that remember that goal, and I remember it as watching the goal.
And it was two identical goals.
Identical goals.
I remember.
Let's see what's going on in the chat. A lot of people are in the YouTube chat. Costa Rica had a fluke run in the World Cup. Fluke? What the F?
Yes.
Arguing about that. Campbell was a beast and always a catalyst. Don't confuse 2014 Uruguay with 2010 Uruguay. Completely different teams. I think what they did to get out and be first in the group with England, Uruguay, and Italy, regardless if they didn't have the same teams. I thought they knew what they did. I don't think it was a fluke.
Yeah.
Holland wasn't able to score on them. I congratulate the Ticos, but at the same time, definitely upset at what they did in 2014. What else? In Periscope, I can't read the comments, but I see the little hearts going. It looks like so if not, you could give us some comments, but definitely a lot of what is happening and what's going on. So let's go ahead and switch it over. And since this is the Mexican Talk Show, we have to talk about the controversial penal on what many people are saying robo, what many, especially a lot of the Tico fans and Ticos that are saying, this is all CONCACAF, this is all a conspiracy to have Mexico and the U.S. in the final. They'll do everything, and of course, why not? I mean, we were the same way last year. I do have to say that the difference between the Dutch and our press is that the Dutch were celebrating a miracle. We got in, we got through. You didn't see that much bashing against the Mexican, when that happened. But I just see the differences. Let me ask you guys, just kind of one by one, in your personal opinion. Respect, obviously, is giving if it's right or wrong. But do you think, and I guess the question is not because we already know it's a penalty and it got called, but do you think there's a merit for a penalty there, first of all, and why? And I think it'd be interesting to hear from you guys, and I'm sure a lot of people you've already tweeted, but we'll go from Cesar to the right. Cesar, take it away.
All right, so first off, what we got to consider, too, is that foul that Peralta had beforehand. It was a terrible, terrible foul, and I think he could have easily had a red card.
Oh, yeah, red card. Everybody agrees.
I think he could have easily had a red card. All right, so considering that, that still happened. All right, so we go on, and then he gets fouled in the box, which to be perfectly honest, I don't think it was a penalty. There was a video that I saw surface earlier today, which looks like Miller might have clipped him, clipped his legs a little bit. Maybe that's why he fouled. But if it was a foul, and if it truly was a penalty, it was one of the softest penalties I've ever seen, and I'm still saying no era penal. And it sucks, and that's not how I want to win.
Go home.
Jason.
Go home.
Go home. I am home.
How about that?
Just from nowhere. Go
Okay.
home.
I got a tally right here, and we'll figure out if we're going to have a democratic decision as a Mexican soccer show officially says, era o no era penal.
One of the days. Go home.
My thought. So a couple of things I'd like to start with. I like the earlier Peralta red card thing. I just like. I'm never a big fan of the. Well, he should have been out at this point because of the red card. Like, just dismiss that because no one for a hard foul. Those always could be a red card, but they don't necessarily have to be a red card. So it's just kind of an irrelevant thing to this. I'm also someone who doesn't think that the time of the game should matter when you call a penalty. So a last second of stoppage time. It should be more clear penalty. I mean, if you're going to call a penalty, it should be the same in that final second of stoppage time as it should be at the beginning of the game. With that being said, that was not a penalty. I'm sorry, that was not a penalty. Peralta looked up. I mean, did you just see Peralta's face? He's on the ground. He's looking up. It was almost like confusion. You just called a penalty for that? It's kind of okay, I guess I should look like, of course, yes, that's exactly what happened. But no, that's not a penalty. I mean, I'm pretty happy they called it, but no, man, that's not a penalty. Not really even close.
Well, all right, we got two nons, and I agree with you on the Peralta. It doesn't matter if he is or not. It happened. Johnny, I'm sure is gonna go. Johnny, let's go.
Johnny, are you home right now? Are you currently home?
Yes, I am.
Go home.
Go home, Johnny.
Now, let me rewind to the specific question Huizo asked. Is there merits to call a penalty? That is a clear yes. There are enough merits.
Semantics.
There are enough merits to call a penalty. Most referees won't call that, but this particular referee did call it, and yes, there's enough merits. There's a push off of Peralta's back. Huizo and I tweeted a picture of it. It's on his screen. Arm on his back. Arm on Peralta's back equals foul. Foul inside of the box equals penalty. I don't see what's confusing about that.
Let me illustrate right here. We have this picture right here.
You can barely see it.
Screen grabs are definitive proof, always.
All right. Naive, the voice of reason. Naive, come on, tell us. Yes, it was, in your opinion, or wasn't the merited to be called?
When I saw it live, when I saw it live, it was it looked too fake. I mean, tell you the truth. I mean, you see the movement, you see the motions, everything's going fast, and Peralta wasn't there, and he just elaborated a fantastic fatal drop to the floor that looked painful, and the linesman, the assistant, the ref called a penalty because it wasn't Walter Lopez who said a penalty. It was actually the assistant ref that signaled to Lopez it was penalty. You know, so from my perspective, it wasn't a penalty.
All right. Tom Marshall, good stuff.
Good stuff. No, I agree with Johnny to an extent in the if there was contact and you know he's gone down, and I agree with Jason that it doesn't matter when it is or whatever. But I think it's very similar to the Robin one, to be honest. In the World Cup, I mean, all right, if you go by the exact letter of the law, then it's a penalty because there's contact. But at the end of the day, the player, in this case Uribe, has exaggerated ridiculously. I mean, no grown man goes down from a push like that. You know what I mean? He's tried to make the most of it. He's tried to con the ref, and it's worked. So, you know, is it a penalty? Probably, but then you're going to end up calling like 10, 15 penalties every game. So, I mean, I don't know. Same with Robin, you know what I mean? Robin's felt that Rafa Marquez touched his foot and he's just
that was a complete lie.
But yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, so, I don't know, what do you do in this? But I tell you what, if you're a fan of Costa Rica, then or you're a fan of another team where that penalty is given against you, you are absolutely distraught. And I have no idea how Paulo Wanchop and the Costa Rican players.
Yes.
I don't know how he kept calm because I tell you what, if that was on the shoe was on the other foot and that was Piojo Herrera going out after a game to a press conference where that has been given against Mexico, I don't know what would happen. I honestly would not predict what would happen.
You'd be in Guadalajara right now.
Yeah.
Look, and I think it's interesting to see the difference.
Wait, so what was Thomas official? Is there enough merit?
Thomas official was yes. There's enough merit.
No,
Thomas too many Twitter followers to give a definite decision.
Yeah, no, there's not enough merit. No way. There's no way enough merit. I mean, I don't know. It's just such a grey area that what do you do? I mean, that shouldn't be a penalty. But at the end of the day, if you look at
Chiqui Marco said it was a penalty.
Man,
Well, there you go.
Periscoping.
We should all just shut up right now.
Now we agree with Chiqui Marco. All right, obviously you've seen my opinion on it. I feel like reading the book, and I was reading the referee, and I was trying to go see whatever. Any movement that is not part of a football field movement, which I do see Junior Diaz moving his arm out, is ultimately a foul. That is what the description of any you're gonna call foul. If it's not a movement that you do in football regularly, which extending your arm out when someone's jumping, regardless of the light contact there was, it is not. And I feel that that's what merited the PK. Now, go ahead.
Sorry, we know go Weasel.
No, but at the same time, you obviously at the end of the game, shouldn't be called. However, it is the main ref didn't see it, and then the other ref said no. I mean, at that point, the ref has the opportunity to talk and be like, "No, buddy, I was there right in front. It wasn't a penal." But they had the discussion, and when the other ref is 100% sure, kind of like Guardado saying, "I'm going to take the PK." I think the ref goes, okay, you saw it that way, and obviously we can't argue about it. But here you go. I obviously, believe me, I know how the Ticos felt. We all know how it was, and it's obviously not the best that you want to get out of the tournament. But Vela also had a PK that wasn't called on him. There were several corner calls that I was like, what is the ref doing?
Yes.
But so I don't believe that there's this kind of conspiracy, even though CONCACAF is kind of dirty. But for me, it wasn't. And what this guy goes to show, the opinions of when you see a penal and when you don't, the ref has to call it in a split second. If all of us, after 20 hours, still can't decide if it's a penal, yes or no. You imagine the ref, and if he did mess up, let's just say that he did, it was a problem. I like what Wanchope said. People make mistakes. That's not why. I don't believe that's why Costa Rica isn't in the semifinals, because they did not come to win. I don't think we can fault Costa Rica. If it was the other way around, can you imagine if Mexico would have lost on a mistake by a ref in the game yesterday? Of course we would have been upset, but at least we've been upset the fact that we were there to win and we just didn't go in.
Yeah. No, just picking up on one thing about this conspiracy. I mean, I think there is a bias towards Mexico in this competition.
And US.
In terms of the way the groups are worked out, in terms of the way where the games are played.
Isn't that everywhere though?
Not
the top teams to be at the end of the tournament.
No, I mean they'll be seeded, but there'll be an open draw how it's seeded. You know what I mean?
And who should be seeded? And who should be seeded in CONCACAF?
Well, the
confederation is really low on football. The number of teams is small.
But if they did it, would you guys like to see Mexico and US in the same group in Group A?
No,
as a fan.
But you can't decide that. The thing is, they're at separate ends of the draw. It's a secret draw, anyways. Like nobody knows who does it. They're just like, all right, yeah, these three. Canada get accepted. How the hell are Canada automatically in this competition? Like, what? How is that a thing? You know, what I'm trying to say is right. I understand. There is bias towards Mexico, and I don't know. You never know, but the way Mexico haven't done a single mix zone before a game, I don't know how great that is, because all the other teams do. All the other teams, the players come out before training and speak. Right. Anyway,
that's CONCACAF, man.
No, that's Mexico. But the federation that.
Tom, did they do that? Did they do that on the first game against Cuba? Did they do that in Chicago, Cesar, where they wrote that down? Because I think that's the first time they ever did that, and it was in Phoenix.
Oh,
they wrote it down before.
Practice mix zones. That's up to each federation. All the other smaller countries, they want press. They're dying for press.
Yeah,
Mexico's not dying for press.
Let me go back to the point. I mean, people were saying there's a conspiracy that basically saying that this referee is corrupt. That this guy has made this decision, or the linesman has made this decision, and I just don't understand that mentality. But I think there is a valid point to be made that this Gold Cup, the way the seeds are, the way that Mexico and the US are kept apart, the way that Mexico are playing in these places where 90% home fans, you know what I mean? The way the US are playing at home as well. I mean, it is heavily biased in the favor. So I understand that, but what I don't understand is
what other way to do it?
Of course there is. You play.
Where not always in the U.S. would be one thing.
Yeah. That's a good stuff.
Play anywhere else.
I wouldn't mind having it in Mexico. Let's do it in Mexico. But tell me another country that's able to do it in a way that. I mean,
that's not my point. Is that what I don't understand? People saying they're basically accusing the referee and the linesman of making that decision because Mexico is a big country. I don't believe that. But I mean, in terms of like host sites, why can't you hold it in Central America? Why can't you hold it in the Caribbean? You're going to make a lot less money, and it might not be a great competition, and you're not going to play beautiful stadiums.
Costa Rica maybe can have this tournament, and there's only 3 stadiums in Costa Rica that can even hold more than.
That's why you share some of the venues. Yeah.
If the Olympics can be held in one city, I'm sure Costa Rica can hold a Gold Cup.
You only need like 3 venues. Anyways, I mean, this is like
in Costa Rica. In San Jose, there's a Saprissa Nacional and the Alajuela. The Saprissa Nacional.
With all this FIFA stuff that's going on, man, hopefully we can see a fuse of CONCACAF and CONMEBOL. I mean, I think that'll be best for the whole side of the world.
I'm down to have a Gold Cup in China.
But like, I think in general. That would be the perfect thing. Use CONCACAF and CONMEBOL, and then Argentina, Chile will also get some money from the U.S.
It's all about the money.
Now, as far as corruption, we have CONCACAF and CONMEBOL, so the solution is to mix all the corrupt guys all together into one big pile.
Problem solved.
Throws the mic and goes home when he's already home. I don't believe that the ref is like got a little bit, I don't know, Jack Warner and Buddy said, hey, please call this if it's not winning. I really don't, because there's other calls where the ref it would have been a lot easier to end the game at 90 with the Vela penal and the other ones. So I don't see that. Obviously, coming from Mexico, I'm biased in saying that no, there's not a bias. But yes, they want Mexico and the U.S. in the final. We've always known that. Just like, and a home team is, gets some calls. We've seen that everywhere. Chile made it to the Copa America, so I don't see why people are comparing the Copa America being this great tournament when Chile made it all the way, when Paraguay made it to the final last time. So it's not like it doesn't happen in other federation. In the World Cup, they still give the 8 seeds. In the African Cup that's played the 2 years, just like CONCACAF, it's almost the same way. They put, they're trying
but
to.
They played in Equatorial Guinea. They found a way of making that. They played in Equatorial Guinea. They move it around every year at least. I mean, if Equatorial Guinea can host a competition, I'm sure that Costa Rica can.
I could just imagine if how many people went. I think it was like 10,000 people went to South America for the game. Holding a 20,000 stadium in Costa Rica or in Central America. I mean, yeah, I think it'd be too much. At the same time, it's about money. So
yeah, it's about money. It's obviously about money.
Mexico says it's okay.
Money,
the
not
US says
fairness.
it's okay. I would like Mexico to be like, you know what? I don't want to have it in the United States, and let's have it in Mexico at least, in the next one, and let's do it like that.
Well, yeah,
it has happened.
That's not much
That works for everyone here, so.
anywhere else.
Is it 2003 or 2005 where they had like a split World Cup? I mean, split Gold Cup. The U.S. played everybody in the U.S. and Mexico played everybody in Mexico.
Yeah.
And its final was in That is like bias. Don't have to travel. The U.S. doesn't have to travel, and everybody else does. I think that was kind of.
Can you imagine the meeting of CONCACAF when that was happening? You got Mexico there, US there, and the rest of the country's like, what's going on here? Why don't we all just play at home?
You're merely invited. All right. Well, enough about the no era penal and era penal. It's Mexico's through, and as much as you would want it to be like that, Cesar, and that's not how you would want it. We got to.
I want it. I want it. Yeah.
We got to take it how it is, and.
You know what? I don't know, to an Americanista, winning with a shady penalty in the last minute, that's pretty golden.
Does that make you feel worse?
Well, let's just talk about the Gold Cup right now.
All right. Let's talk about obviously the knockout stages. Just a little bit outside of Mexico, the U.S. Having Jamaica. I think it's going to be a little complicated for the U.S., but I think they go through. The U.S. can play the physical game also, and I think they're going to go to the final. The U.S. just had a walk through the whole Gold Cup. I mean, Honduras was probably the hardest game that they had, but maybe there's a surprise. Mexico playing obviously Panama, and I think I said Bolillo Gomez is a smart coach. We'll see how he comes to play. But I feel like it's going to be an easier game than Costa Rica, but not to let our guard down. Let's talk about to you guys. Let's go on what we want to see players-wise, formations. Any new news, Tom, that you're there? Other than Yasser Corona, are there any news, any other players, or anything that we might want to see? I heard something about maybe Hector Herrera, maybe Tecatito. What are you seeing around the camp that's there?
Well, I think the first thing, Giovanni Dos Santos is going to be ready.
Okay.
So I think that's quite big because it gives him options, you know what I mean?
So Peralta out, you think?
I don't know. Honestly, my personal opinion is that he's not going to change that much. That he's going to keep it quite similar, and it wouldn't surprise me for the same team with Alanis in for Corona.
Alanis. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, same thing. So you think Gio coming in as a sub?
Yeah, I think he'll come in as sub. I think that Herrera historically has loved Peralta. He just won that penalty in the last minute. So, I just think he's going to stick with him. And I think that the fact that Esquivel did well off the bench, the fact that Herrera is such a influential player on paper, I think that he might just stick with it. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I just think they've just come through a big game, a massive psychological boost, and I think he's going to, right, let's go again, let's do it, let's absolutely blow him away in the first half.
I mean, I know Hector Herrera hasn't been the same, but I feel personally, if you're benching Herrera, that's just going to take. We know what he's capable of. I mean,
I say stick with him. I say stick with him because
I say stick with him too.
He's not just an important player now, but moving forward, and I think it's important for the coach to be like, you're really important for us. We absolutely believe in you. Go and do it. You know, you've got forget what's happening in this tournament. You got the semi, you got the final. Nobody's going to remember what happened against Cuba and Guatemala. You know, go ahead, go and win this tournament for us. Simple as that. There you go. I just told him his team talk.
I say bench him, man. If I was in charge, I say bench him, man. I don't like what he's been doing. It's not like it's been one game either. It's been It's been for a while now. He hasn't showed up at all in this Gold Cup. Personally, I think Esquivel has I would put him in, and I would play with a 4-4-2. I would put in like Guardado and Jonah in the middle, and I'd have Esquivel on the right wing, right there, playing in his position. Tecatito on the left wing. I think that would personally, if I was charged, that's what I would like. I think. I don't know, just Herrera. I want to. I love Herrera. I think he's a not Piojo, but I mean like the player. I think he's a fantastic player. And at his best, he's one of the top players in CONCACAF. But he just, as we can tell, something is off. We don't know what it is, and maybe he can come off the bench. But the next game, I really don't have a lot of trust in him, to be perfectly honest.
I think if anybody's going to bench Herrera, it's going to be Jonathan and have Gallito in the middle.
No.
That's
Jonathan has been one of the best players in the Gold Cup.
Yeah, I guess. Oh no. Jonathan will bench Herrera and have Gallito in the middle, so it'll be Guardado, Vasquez, Jonathan. If Herrera's gonna now, and the only reason why I'm saying that, maybe not against Panama, but I see that against the U.S. as a team that's gonna want the middle. That's where I see that to start that already. That's my thing. If we're gonna bench Herrera, I don't think we should bench Herrera. I think just like Tom says, hey, you know what? You're not doing as great. We know you're not. Let's see what you have. And if it's another game where he causes you, sub him out. Sub him out like you did in the 60. Now he knows. And you know what? We got a championship to win. Sorry, buddy, but we can't be here to make sure your morale is up. But I think give him another chance, just kind of like what Tom said. Jason, Naive?
Yeah, I'd kind of run him out there again. I just don't like any of the other options. I like Esquivel, like how he's played in short spurts, but I don't think I trust him in the starting lineup all that much either.
Started against, was it the Ticos? No, Honduras.
Honduras, yeah.
One of the
teams. So, well, okay. I don't know how definitive that performance was either. I can't remember at this point either. But I don't know. I don't trust him on the starting lineup. I'd rather see him just as that solid option spark off the bench. I wish I knew what was going on with Herrera. Is it a confidence thing? Is it some sort of...
It's a haircut.
Is it a physical thing? If it's a physical thing, like something he's not quite 100%, get him out of there. But if it really is a mental thing, yeah, just keep pushing him out there because, dude, just step up here.
It's just funny that
they really need him. I mean, yeah, go ahead, Cesar.
Oh, just really quickly say, it's funny how we talk about this thing. Same thing with the Vela. It's like, oh no, like where's this confidence in the Gold Cup of all tournaments? This confidence problems against like these North American teams. That's my only little input. It's just it's always kind of funny, and I know these players can have these confidence problems, especially having a little bit of a break. But it's such a strange thing to hear when we hear about these confidence problems against CONCACAF opponents.
Well, especially, I mean, not necessarily against opponents. It's your own teammates. I feel here's Esquivel coming up, and then here comes, he's not doing great. Yeah, he started. I think there was, he in the starting lineup when everybody said Esquivel might be coming in and Herrera not. I mean, it's not necessarily the opponent; it's the guy that's going to try to take your spot, as we've seen, Jonathan coming in and the others. But we'll do that, and then Johnny, I know you're. Johnny, what's happening?
I think I cut off Jason. I don't think we let Jason finish.
No, I don't think there's like another option. Like I don't think there's a solid option for Herrera up front. Like there's no one else. Mexico needs someone to play that position. They need someone right there behind the strikers who can really work that ball through. And I mean, you could talk about Gio there, but does Gio want to play there? I mean, like Gio could be all over the place. So, I mean, and is he really ready? So I think it is like Herrera, and I think if things aren't going well with him again, we see the similar things, then I think maybe you bring Gio in and work him in or Esquivel. But I think it's just give him another shot, see what happens.
Yeah, just quick. I think if Gio's 100% fit, I think he could start instead of Peralta against Panama. I just think since you need players that are going to do different things with a park bus, basically, that Panama's going to put.
But they
and you can use them Peralta afterwards. I just think that now that Gio already has all his stuff sorted out, we know that he's going to the Galaxy.
He got his shirt.
He got his shirt. We know what's going to happen with his life now. I mean, you have this shot to play with Carlos Vela, and I think this is a moment, semis, final. That's where, the great, they will be remembered, for doing well in these games. And I think Gio and Vela is a good tandem. It's a better tandem than Peralta and Vela. I just don't think they click, Vela and Peralta. And we talked about it with Tom in the first half. It was awful.
I feel like I don't know. This is my thing. I think Peralta and Vela, having them both up there, it looks like we are beating the park bus. I mean, with Trinidad, we scored 4 goals when they were going back, and I think with Mexico, with Costa Rica, we were able to continually come in. I feel like it's working. The punteria is not in, so we're gonna have to see. I think he's gonna stick with Vela, and I think he's gonna stick with Peralta just because Peralta is having less of a harder time scoring, but he still has 3 goals even though it was against Cuba. And then Vela, I think that was a fluke. Him missing those 2, I'm sure, and he put it on his Twitter too. I think he said he's just like, you know what, let's get up. That picture with like all the grass in his mouth. And I obviously Vela, so hopefully they get that confidence. And
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Mexico reached the final and Vela scores the winner against the United States. I was thinking, like, as stories go, that would be some story, wouldn't it?
He did it 2009. He was everybody. I guess everybody scored, even Gringo Castro with his Michael Jackson moves. All right, guys. Guille Franco. All right, guys. It is already time.
I gotta go.
To close. Cesar, I know you gotta go. If you want to say your goodbyes, it's time for you. We'll see. Your prediction of really quick, Cesar, before you leave, your prediction.
Panama. I think Mexico's gonna do a little bit better. I think I'm shooting for a 3-1 Mexico win over Panama. Actually, I think Panama's gonna be. I mean, it's not too difficult prediction. But I think they're gonna be a little bit of an easier opponent than Costa Rica. So I'm going for 3-1 Mexico.
All right. Well, there it is. There's Cesar's official prediction. But guys.
Oh man, my cat is here. That means I gotta go. Did you see that? She just walked by right now.
DJ Scribbles, what's his name? Her name?
Oh, DJ Cuddles. Yeah,
DJ Cuddles.
She's a DJ. Because she likes to scratch, you know?
Got it.
No?
No, it's okay. All right, Cesar, have a good time.
All right, thanks. Yeah. All right, see you guys later. I gotta go.
Jason and first of all, Johnny, what's going on with the game? Fine, go ahead, tell us. What is going on with the game with America in this grand final?
Well, the game started, so America's playing.
Gotcha.
You know,
all right.
That's all that needs to happen to grab my attention.
I like the Santos New Jerseys actually. It's nice, just Santos New Jersey.
That green looks faded.
Faded. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for so many that joined us on the chat. PVA, Icky Spliff, the Ted Ran, Floriberto Hernandez, Ed Okos. Thank you so much. Great discussion on there, and all of you guys that are still on Periscope. Woohoo! We still have like 7 people. I still see some hearts up there. Thank you for joining us. Tom, Naive, Johnny and Jason, thank you so much. Tom is probably the only one that I'll be in Atlanta unless anyone else is going. Is anybody else? Probably no, doesn't look like it. But then I'll be traveling to New York, and then hopefully obviously we'll see in Mexico on Sunday. If not, we'll see him on Saturday in Chester, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
But at the same time, at least it's close. At least we can go over there. But predictions for the game, guys. I guess maybe. I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna say Mexico wins. But does it go to penalty kicks? Does it go to extra times? Is it gonna be that hard? I guess that's my question.
I saw Panama against Trinidad, and they're a decent team, and I think the coach is good, like you said, Wiesel. But I think Mexico. I think that last minute goal there was big, and I think Mexico gonna 2-0 victory. I mean, both played extra time as well, so there shouldn't be any kind of tiredness issues. They're both going to be pretty knackered. So we're going 2-0. I think they're going to put on the best performance so far of the Gold Cup.
All right, Mr. Naive.
I think these games are tight already. I mean, we saw with Panama, Trinidad and Tobago. I think the Jamaica-U.S. game is going to be a tight one as well. I think Jamaica with Schaefer. There's a lot of the players playing MLS as well for Jamaica, and I think they're gonna take it along with the U.S. men's national team. I think I see a 1-0 victory for El Tri, but it will be a little bit tight again. To see a little bit of what we saw in the Costa Rica match. I think Panama does have the capacity to be organized in the back, and they already played each other. The game they played in Querétaro, it was Cubo Torres who scored that winning goal right at the end of the match. It was 1-0 win against Panama.
There it is. Mr. Johnny?
I'm going to go 2-1 in extra time. 1-1 draw in 90.
And then 2-1 in extra time. All right. Very good prediction. There it is. Jason?
I like a 1-0 Mexico as well. I mean, I think it'll be. I don't know. Mexico still doesn't convince me. I think they will play a good game. I expect them to play a little bit stronger, but still, I'm a little unconvinced about the actual finishing and the goal scoring. I'll wait to see till it happens, whether it does, and I'll be pleasantly surprised if they score more than a goal in this game. I'm happy they got Panama in this rather than Jamaica on this side, because I'd be a little more worried with Jamaica at this point.
It's interesting with those teams, those physical teams. It feels like we can break them, but they can come back and just run. And I think our defense is bad, which I don't think Panama is going to do. I'm going to go. I think Mexico wins comfortably. I think it's going to be the best game, just kind of like what Tom says. A 3-0, 3-1. I feel like there's a Blas Perez goal in there somewhere, just as maybe later in the game where we've kind of already calmed down, didn't learn a lesson. But I think the hardest game's already been played against Costa Rica. And we'll see about that. But looks like everyone's saying, I say close to 2-0 by the Tedran. Marco Medina by 1 goal. Icky plays 4-1. So lots of different scenarios. But guys, I know we're already out of time. Thank you for joining us, Naive, everyone. We'll be seeing each other, I'm sure, after the game. We'll probably do another live Mexican soccer show. I know I'll be with Tom over there in Philly. But
when you heading over, Weasel?
I should be there. I'm going to New York Tuesday night, so I should be in Philly on Friday. But it's only like an hour, right? If you want to just, So I'll be watching the game. So Naive, I try to go see you in Queens.
All right, perfect. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. And hopefully, we'll be able to be in the final.
Queens, go stay at the Bronx.
Nah, not the Bronx.
I'll be I'll be in Manhattan.
Manhattan.
I'll be in Manhattan, Lower Manhattan. That's where I will be staying. So gotta watch.
Check out the Bronx or Brooklyn.
I'm gonna go check out. Wait, what's the MLS team there? New York Cosmopolitan.
New York City FC and the Red Bulls.
New York Cosmos.
And then the Cosmos too.
Cosmopolitans. All right, guys. This has been another episode of the Mexican Soccer Show. That is it for all of us. Have a great week, and go Mexico.